All right. Well, as I just promised, here she is. The electrifying,
Ooh.
talented,
Mhm.
charismatic, um, beautiful Olivia Mary Jane Elizabeth Martavius Morgan. Welcome to the show.
Wow.
Yeah, I know your
Can
whole
you keep
name.
going?
Yeah, well, I did the
Can you give
research.
me a couple more adjectives?
Um, um,
Dominant.
dominant. Did I mention champion?
Champ?
Oh, what is that? That's the.
This
Oh, is
is
that the Women's World
nothing.
Championship?
Yeah, I'm serious. Oh my love.
Should I also say the romantically involved, um, romantically satisfied? Yeah, all of those things. Wow, that's a Daddy Dom shirt.
Uh-huh.
Is that available for purchase
It
or is that?
has it should be, but it's not. It has glitter too. It's like glitter font right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta tell
Only
you,
the best for Daddy Dom.
you guys, dare I say, is it fair to say you guys are the sexiest couple in all of WWE?
Oh,
Like the appeal is it's on fire.
it's through the roof. No,
The
that's I think that's fair to say.
my wife just told me, hold on, she just told me the word. She told me the word, and I wanted to share it for my audience because I thought they'd find this
Okay.
entertaining. There's a word in Hebrew for what you guys do with each other. Hold on, and I'm going to tell it to you. See if she answers. Because you guys just, I in the last few weeks, you've been doing this.
Hello.
I'm interested.
Baby,
Hi,
what's,
beautiful.
do you hear that? Liv just
It's
said hi,
Liv.
beautiful.
Hi.
Okay, real quick, babe, what's the word for what her and Dom do with their noses?
Off le off.
Af le af.
Oh.
Yes.
That's the Eskimo kiss.
The
Oh, the
Eskimo
little
kiss,
noses?
yes.
All right, thanks, baby. Appreciate it.
Thank
Love
you.
you.
Off lay off. Yeah, that's what you guys are doing. A big
Off
off
lay
lay
off?
off. Yeah, it's very cute. When did that become? Was that just something that was happening in real life? So you say, you know what, we should just be doing this when we get
It
to
was
the ring.
just natural, like what is so cutesy and just like I can't get enough of you. And it's just noses, it's just like the cutest, most innocent, most pure little.
Right, because you're not rubbing sexuality in our face. It's cute. It's wholesome. Like
Wholesome.
we don't need to see everything. Like this isn't an Edge Lita, celebration in the middle of the ring with the bed. This is classy.
This
This
is
delicate.
classy romance. I'm so, so into you, and I just close isn't close enough.
Wow. So I wanted to ask you before we get back to Daddy Dom and this amazing love affair that we're also intrigued with, and
Mhm.
and the match that you have coming up at Bad Blood. We'll get to all of that. But before that, someone asked me, have you ever asked Liv how she got into the business? And I was like, I don't think I ever have. And so I'm sure it's a story you've regaled people with before, but please, for the cheap heat audience,
Yeah.
how did Liv Morgan find her way into the wrestling business?
It's a funny story, that story, let me tell you. I've said this multiple times before. I grew up with four older brothers and they loved WWE, and they introduced me to WWE and I just fell in love with it. I kind of grew up in a very chaotic household, and so WWE was very much my safe space. It didn't matter what was going on
And we're
in my life.
talking arrow wise, like who are some of the superstars you're watching at the time as a kid?
Like Lita, the Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys, Shawn
Okay.
Michaels, Stone Cold, Triple H, The Rock,
Glory days.
just
Okay.
the glory days of what we, say is the golden age of wrestling. Um, and so I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with everything about WWE. It made me, like I said, it was very much my safe space. And so fast forward a couple years later, I'm working at this Hooters. I'm working at this Hooters, which I love Hooters by the way now. But I'm working at this Hooters because I had dropped out of high school my sophomore year, which I do not recommend. I think education is so important. We actually have a program, the NAL, where we take college athletes and immerse them in the WWE culture. And so I think
How did you end up like why did you end up dropping out sophomore year? That seems like a tough path to be on.
yeah, so my mother became ill, and I just missed a lot of days. I missed a lot of days to the point where they were like, you're gonna need to repeat a grade, which I didn't want to do. So I signed out of high school. I waited a couple months and I got my GED. um, a little bit after getting my GED. Well, as I was getting my GED, as I am getting on the bus, the public transportation in New Jersey bus to go back home, I saw Hooters across the street. And I was like, I've never thought about working at a Hooters. The only kind of reference I have about Hooters was Big Daddy at the time. And so I'm just like, okay, like, I'm gonna walk in and just see what happens. So I go and apply at this Hooters. I get the job, and shortly after I get introduced to a man named Joe DeFranco. Joe DeFranco is a world-renowned strength and conditioning coach that just so happens to personally train Triple H and Stephanie on a weekly basis. Crazy.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And
And so
up till this point, you had not thought about wrestling
no,
as a
I thought about
path.
it all the time. That was my, like, like Make a Wish 1111. That was my wish
Oh,
every
it really
single
was. So
day.
that was your
That
11/11 wish?
that was my 1111 wish from
Are
as
you now
far.
do you do the pinky cross kiss the thumb 11/11 wish?
No, what is that? Is that some extra juju 1111 wish?
Yeah, you've never seen that? You can yeah, that's a thing you can do if you catch it at the same time as
No.
someone, you do a little pinky you and Dirty Dom should do
We
that
have to do
sometime.
that at 1111.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so keep going.
Okay.
So it was like a little dream, but
That
not
was
a
my pipe dream. Like, I'm gonna grow up and I'm gonna be in the WWE and I'm gonna save my family. Like, I'm gonna change my family's life and I'm gonna make it and I'm gonna, take us out of this crazy cycle of like chaos and violence that we are living in. I'm gonna save my family. That was like my dream. Growing up living the life that I did, I obviously realized, like, people like me that, grow up the way that I did, that drop out of high school, they don't, make it to WWE. So it's a pipe dream in my head. It's something that I hope for with all my heart, but I really, I don't foresee how I'm gonna make this happen. And so working at the Hooters, like I said, get introduced to Joe. I go to Joe's gym and he was only kind of training professional athletes at this time. And so he has all his NFL guys. I had never worked out a day before in my life. And he was like, all right, jump in. And so I, do this workout. He assessed my skills, which were like zero, really. I just had so much heart. I just had so much heart. Like, he could tell I was trying hard. And so he invited me to train there for the week. And so we made a little montage video of my workouts.
you lifting weights
Lifting
and
weights, just doing like athletic feats. I think I climbed a rope. I think he was like impressed that I just had like kind of real no athletic background and I just was hanging in there,
okay.
and I just went in head first. And so we actually found out I'm kind of a sneaky athlete. I think I had the record for like female sprint in his gym after it was all said and done. But we made a montage video of me doing a bunch of different workouts, and so we sent it to WWE, and they were like, "Unfortunately, you guys just missed a tryout, but if you keep training, we have a tryout in 6 months, and we'll hold a spot for you." And so we just worked out every single day. We worked out every single day. I would go and train with Joe, then shower up and go to my Hooter shifts at night. And we just prepared for the tryout. We just prepared for the tryout. He got me in such great shape as far as strength and conditioning wise that,
Which is a major advantage because so many people, when it comes to trying out in for WWE, being in ring shape is so
yeah,
hard. People
like,
get so blown up.
you don't try out and wrestle per se. This is not like go in the ring and let me see what you can do. Obviously, like, most of us have no experience. And so it's very much the in-ring cardio aspect. You're doing all these drills that are timed in every single ring in the WWE Performance Center in succession. And so it's really just designed to kind of see who wants it, like who's gonna last, and so it was kind of that scenario. And I obviously wanted it more than I wanted anything in my whole entire life. And so in my mind, like, I cannot leave here without a WWE contract. I need to show them like what I'm willing to give. And so, I just did all the drills. I even went twice because people were injuring themselves and we had like even groups. And so I'm like, I'll go again. And so I'm doing all the drills twice, just anything to show that like I'm coachable and I want this. But pretty much they offered me the contract. They offered me the contract. So it's so crazy because something that for me was like so hard and felt like was shaping my life as far as dropping out of high school, like this crazy decision that I made in a weird way, turned out to be a blessing in disguise and led me to my path in WWE. So I'm such a strong believer in everything happens for a reason, even if you don't know it at the time. Things, fall into place and make sense.
So this is now, what are we talking about? This is 10 years ago ish?
Yes, I'm almost on my
Wow.
10-year WWE.
And how many years were you in NXT and at the PC?
I was at the Performance Center from 2014 to 2017, 11/21/2017 to be exact.
11/21/17 was when you got the call.
Yep.
Who were your first friends?
Ruby
At
and Sarah.
really? That was your
Ruby and Sarah.
they were your first friends at the PC?
Oh no, I should have let you finish that question actually.
See? So they were, because that was your squad when you got to the
That was
roster.
my squad. I thought you were gonna say when I got brought to Raw or SmackDown, it was definitely Ruby and Sarah. My first friends at the PC, it was definitely um you know, I didn't have friends for a while. I didn't have friends for a while actually.
Really? No?
Yeah, no, no. Not because of not being liked or anything. I kind of was just in my own little bubble and world. And in my mind, this was like obviously the biggest opportunity my whole entire life that I was just so clocked in and zoned in. And also, I was in a different training class than most of the girls at that time. I was in the beginner class. I was kind of separated from them, really. I had a
Was
different workout time.
anyone in the class who is now on the roster with you from the beginners class?
Yeah, Sunny from AOP.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, we were the only ones left, and so him, yeah, which is crazy.
Which
Um,
really does speak to like how hard the process is. Like we hear so much about people getting signed and people getting opportunities and the NIL and all the things that are going to happen, but like it's not a foregone conclusion because you get to the PC that you're ever going to
no,
make it to real television.
it's obviously that's everyone's hopes, that's everyone in the building's hopes is that we can turn all these people into superstars, but there's so much that goes into it, and it's so much harder than it looks. And unfortunately, it doesn't happen for everyone.
What was there anything physically that was particularly hard for you? Like did was it
Yes, just like all the wrestling mechanics, all the wrestling mechanics was so difficult for me. I felt like I was in good shape, I was strong, I was naturally athletic, but just the mechanics of learning these maneuvers and the actual wrestling was so foreign to me. And it's so funny because I thought because I was a lifelong fan, I was going to catch on right away and I was going to be, so amazing right away. And I really, 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 really wasn't. And so, yeah, just the mechanics and the body language is kind of so unnatural, really. And so you're just kind of going against all of your body's natural instincts as you're learning. And so it kind of takes a while to rewire your brain and body that way.
when did you feel like you had gotten pretty good? Like you can look, when is the period where you could go back and look at the stuff and not like cringe? You're like, "Oh no, this is a cool match. Like I'm good with where I was at this point."
I think from 2017 on, I won't cringe. I think 2020, I had vastly improved. I think by 2022, I felt like, oh, like I'm kind of getting like kind of really good at this. And then and then I think now I'm confident, still always striving to be better. If I had it my way, I'd know every single thing about wrestling, but there's just no way because there's so many things. But also with that, it makes my yearn to learn so much stronger. And so I'd say right about now, I am definitely in a groove and feeling really great. Um, but it's such a process and a journey. And I feel like everyone probably has, a different answer to that question.
Oh, absolutely. Let's take a look back here. We're gonna
No,
No, no,
no,
no, it's not old. It's not a long time ago.
no.
Um
Okay.
These are
I thought you were gonna.
no, not way back. I'm not.
I
This
thought you were
isn't.
gonna bring it back, and I was like, no, I literally cringed.
No, no, not This Is Your Life. We're not going all the way back then.
She's cute.
This is
She's cute.
this was a big night for you. And my wife was with me that night and had her little
She took an iconic photo of me.
yeah, she had her little camera with you, and we saw you after. I think you had like just gotten done doing still photo or whatever thing you had just done, and we saw you in the hallway. And this night is a big deal in the future, in what ended up being the history of Liv Morgan. What do you take away most from this night? Is there one specific memory, and also like just the general process of the whole night? What do you remember when you think back on that Money in the Bank?
The feeling that it gave me and the emotion that it gave me, it literally blew me away. Like, honestly, I can get emotional right now talking about this. It really was just like, for me, the epitome of like, holy shit, I just made my dream come true. Like, to me, that was the epitome of like, you did it, kid. Like just my inner child, just that inner WWE lifelong fan in me, just like cannot believe that I had made it that far. And I just was so beyond over the moon happy and just like proud that I had stuck it out and this is how far I made it. It was just like unbelievable to me.
What's the level of nerves when you're in Gorilla and about to come out for the Money in the Bank cash in? What is that feeling like? It's like I never appreciated until, for as much as I love wrestling and as big a nerd as I am, I swear to you, the dumbest thing taught me the most. My little stupid 24/7 championship pin on R-Truth changed my perspective on everything.
Tell me.
Well,
Walk me through
because
it.
so they tell me that day that we're gonna do this thing, and I'm like, okay, sure. Kept getting delayed. I don't know if it's gonna happen. And Ronnie, being the best guy ever, is like, hey, let me explain how, what this could look like. And I'm in TVL, and for people to know, the TV locker there are often a lot of veterans in that locker room, so it's great because like I have no business being there, but because I'm TV, it's where I go. But that's where like awesome, knowledgeable people are just like sitting around. Like your future father-in-law, Rey Mysterio, is there a lot. Randy Orton might be there. And so like Randy's showing me how to do this. Is all I had to do was a nut shot, okay? And Randy Orton, one of the greatest ever, is like getting, and I didn't know if they were ribbing me also by like showing me so much detail, but he's like on the ground with me, like, here's what you got to
He
do.
wanted you to succeed.
That's what I'd like to believe. So Randy's like, you got to do it this way, blah, blah, blah. And as it comes together and I realize we're going to do it, it really crosses my mind that I'm like, oh my God, it's live. I have to do it right. Like, and it's nothing. All I have to do, and by the way, and I still missed the talking cue. Like when the moment came up, I was like, oh, what? You can see me. I'm like lost and I forget. So from that moment on, it just made me realize, I'm like, oh my God, just remembering one thing to do to get it right is so scary. When you have a huge moment, whether it's you in that spot or the dreaded and disgusting, I know you hate his guts, Damian Priest and his moment at WrestleMania, whatever the moment is, it's just, God, that's a lot of pressure to get that right. Were you thinking about all the little details, or were you like, cool, like I'm just gonna go out there, it'll be easy?
Surprisingly, in that moment, that was one of my easier moments in Gorilla before going out.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you mess it up, like there's nothing you can really do. Like it has to be done right.
I'm a big believer in like positive self-talk. And so I just talked myself up the most I ever had done in my life, to the point where I was like I've got this. I've got this, and I'm gonna leave here, SmackDown Women's Champion. And so I just had hyped myself up so much for that moment that I was actually okay, and I was just ready to go. I was ready to go and become champion for the first time
So
ever.
are there any moments that you can pinpoint and go, no, I remember, but this specific match was very scary? Like, do you have any of those in your mind?
Um, Yeah. My day one match with Becky Lynch stands out to me. Um, the
Why
main
that
event
one?
we did, the main event we did for Raw.
Why did the day one match freak you out?
I feel like in that point in my career, that was like one of my bigger opportunities. And we were the only women's match on the day one card. It was the first time we were doing day one. I just knew it was like, I took it as a big responsibility, and I'm being highlighted in a way that I've never been before, and I need to knock it out of the park. And so just putting extra expectations on myself and, standards on myself, because I want to be perfect. Like, perfect doesn't exist, but I'm trying to go out there and execute perfection. And so I think just all of that, I was like, whoo, it was just a lot of pressure for me in that moment, because it was kind of, like I said, I was in a spotlight that I hadn't been in before as a solo competitor.
Is there anyone in particular that you lean on in the locker room for support, either to ask about, what you did well, what you should do? Um, whose ear do you bend if you like want to get some advice?
I feel like if I'm looking for something specific, it just really depends on what I'm looking for in that moment, really, as far as feedback that I'm looking for. Um, so I feel like there's lots of different people depending on what I'm looking for, like I said. But I don't know why this stands out to me, just because I had just done it. I just wrestled Lyra after the SmackDown event on Friday, and Bailey was there, and so whenever Bailey's around and she's watching, I always ask her, like, what do you think? But Bailey was, she was just entering her four horsewoman era when I came to the Performance Center, and so coming into the business and seeing her and all those other, women, it was something that I strived for. And so Bailey, in my eyes, is always someone that, um, I know she knows what she's talking about.
Is there an element because they were already getting into that period when you arrived? Is there a certain level of sort of senior position that those girls like have for you? Like, do you still feel that to any degree, that like, even as you now are a multi-time champion and you're one of the biggest stars in the company and blah, 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 all those things, is there still a level of looking at them like they're older than you and have experience that
I
you don't
think
have?
to a degree, for sure, time flies by so fast, and I feel like we don't realize it enough in the moment, and positions change, standings change, but time flies so fast that I still look at Bailey as, uh she's the shit, and so, and she's still, we were just texting the other day, and she's like, It's so funny, even though you've done all these things, I still see you as like little baby, walking into the Performance Center." And she's like, "I just can't believe all the time that has passed." And so for sure, in ways, it still feels like those dynamics hold to certain degrees here and there.
Is it? Could it be this? Could it be the sneaky fact that on like some level Bailey may be
Somewhat.
on? Please don't point out my flubs. How dare? How dare you?
I
Is it?
wasn't. I'm so sorry. And I was gonna let it go, and then I
No,
decided
you
to
shouldn't.
not.
Is it possible that on some level, on the sneak tip, Bailey is like the coolest person in WWE? Like on the
Oh, that's
low, is
not a
that?
sneak tip.
You think
Everyone
that's
knows
just?
that.
It's just known. Like she is that dude.
Everyone knows that. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. Everyone's
now,
cool with Bailey.
now. Speaking of someone who I think you probably would say is the biggest loser in all of WWE.
Oh, Rhea, the biggest, most pathetic, desperate, lonely loser, who I
That's
think still low key loves Dominic.
Is that what you think is going on? You think she's still in love, no matter what she says. You think she's still in love with Dominic?
I don't think she's still in love with him, but I think she's highly, 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 highly hurt and offended by Dominic, and I think she still wants his attention.
There are people out there who could say
Hmm.
that it was inappropriate of you to forge a relationship with, or to attempt to forge a relationship with Dominik while he was in a relationship with Miss Rhea?
No,
You don't see that?
no. I own my actions. I am a home wrecking, man stealing, title taking, whatever you want to say about me. It is I, and I'll do it again.
So you feel you don't, and now what? So what if some other little cute thing were to come along and try to pull the same thing? Like, God forbid you end up, away for, you have to go shoot a movie or
Oh
something,
no.
and you're
Oh
gone
no.
for 6
No, no,
weeks.
no, no, no.
No.
No, no, no. Dominic and I are like this.
Are
Thick
you
as
even doing it right?
thieves.
It's like supposed to be like this.
I don't know why my finger won't go. I'm like, is my
This
finger broken?
or you literally aren't even, come on, like, it's supposed to be all the way
Wait,
across.
I think it's my rings. Hold on.
Okay, got it.
There we go.
You're like that.
I had to really put an effort. The rings kind of blocked me, and I didn't anticipate that.
So, because that was kind of a bad omen. Me and Dominic are like this.
There was a lot of space in
Yeah,
between
too
there.
much space. So you're not worried someone would do the same thing to you?
No, no. I mean, look at me. Who am I going to be worried about?
It's a really good point.
Yeah.
Now you could be worried about Rhea Ripley at Bad Blood, because now we know that Dominic is going to be suspended
I hate that for him.
in a shark cage, which is very dangerous, by the way,
First of all, it's dangerous. Second of all, the amount of trauma that man has.
from
He
jail,
doesn't like heights,
right?
and also behind the bars,
Behind bars.
and
Yeah.
also he's claustrophobic. Truly, genuinely, like he might have a hard time up there. He's gonna have a hard time up there.
And are you in any way concerned about being able to get things done in the ring, knowing that you don't have your daddy Dom to support you?
I am sad that he won't be directly by my side, but I will be happy in knowing that he's going to be watching me as he dangles from that shark cage. Um, like I said on Monday, I know Rhea is bigger than me. I know that Rhea is stronger than me, but I know that I am smarter than her. So I'm gonna figure it out, and I'm gonna get Daddy Dom down from that shark cage as fast as I can.
What's in the future for you and Dom? Like, are you guys planning anything? Because it does seem that there's a lot of fire there. Do you ever think about a future with Dom and
Oh, yeah.
little dirty Doms one day? A house full of little dirty Doms running around?
Where we are taking it slow, but how cute is a house of little dirty doms, right? I think right now the world is our oyster and we are just ready to take over. And so we're excited just for life and for what's to come after I finally put an end to Rhea Ripley and after Finn finally puts an end to Damian Priest. And we can move on.
With your life? No, you deserve to move on.
Yeah, we all do.
Have you seen that Netflix show? I think it's like Worst Ex Ever or whatever.
No.
Oh
Was it
yeah,
good?
it's a big docu-series, but I think it could, in your eyes, it may harken back to what Dom's dealing with right now with
No,
Rhea.
I haven't seen it. I was thinking of the Tinder swindler, but that's not it.
You were thinking of what?
The Tinder swindler,
Oh, I haven't
right?
seen The Tinder Swindler.
That's not what you're talking about. Okay.
No, it's a
Okay.
different one.
Yeah,
It's a
no.
different one. There's a lot of weird crimey shows on right now. So, I do know that you are a big reader. What is your most recent book?
It was actually um why am I blanking? I'm seeing the cover of the book and I'm not seeing it's the housemaid. The housemaid.
There you go.
It was really good.
It was
It
really
was
good.
really good. Yeah, I
D-
just actually bought the follow-up, which I heard is also really, really, really good and has a lot of twists. I haven't cracked it open yet, but The Housemaid was the last book.
and do you have like a little bit of a book club situation or?
Yeah, actually, we used to have a book club situation. It was myself and Becky Lynch before I retired her, Maxine, and Katana. And we've disbanded for obvious reasons.
The jealousy.
The jealousy, and like I said, I retired Becky Lynch, and so that didn't really hold over well in the book club. So it's a little bit discontinued. Maybe one day in the future we can pick it back up, though. I'd love that. So right now, I'm just solo reading. You know, Daddy Dom, sometimes he'll see my books and be like, what's that? What's that about? And then I'll tell him. But that's really it.
He's not a big reader though, Daddy Dom, right?
He's a big movie watcher.
And a
He
big
prefers that form of art and entertainment.
and a big tender eater.
Big tendy eater. Big,
Yeah,
big, big, big.
the man loves to eat
hmm
tendies. Liv, we wish you the best of luck. And I hope that you're able to get past this whole Rhea thing and move forward, and wish you the best with your book club and, everything else. Just everything. If you decide you want to return to Hooters, whatever is in your future, we wish you the absolute
I love
best.
Hooters.
By the way, some of
Thank
the
you.
some of the great wings. Oh, by the way, there is
Fresh, never frozen. I mean, honestly, the best wings.
and by the way, there is a Hooters in downtown Atlanta, relatively close to the building. So if afterwards
Maybe Daddy Dom and I can go there after I
get some,
retrieve him from that shark cage and we can celebrate with some. They have good tendies too. They
yeah.
have good tendies too. I'll get some wings. He can get some tendies.
What a night would it be? Liv, thank you I'm glad we made time to do this. Thank you.
Thank you.